haven't necessarily had as much time to work, and we know they haven't had as much time to work, and we're going to come in and threaten them. There's a couple different ways it could be coming through. It is going to be a big task and an uphill battle, I would say, to battle against the Sprout lineup, even with two stand-ins. This is a really good team, Dean. I mean, they're a really good team and have been a good team for a while and have been an ascendant team as well. So I think that there's a clear favorite here. I think that Sprout really need to change the calculations, but based on what we saw from ERN on the Vertigo game in the last series, I've got a little faith in the underdog. I think aTTaX could show form that we don't necessarily expect and surprise us.
Yeah, no, it's always possible. I don't think having Dha at least stepping back in is going to be much of an issue. I'm just, as
No.
you said, kind of curious about how Dexter is going to slot into the team and how they're going to use him. Probably pretty free flow, I would imagine. The maps overall are pretty good for that as well. Maybe Vertigo might be a little bit harder to do, but then going on towards the Mirage and Dust 2, if we end up hitting that point, I do think Dexter would probably be able to just at least do enough in terms of fragging to at least step up for Sprout. So again, yeah, I think I do have that thing where every brain cell is telling me that this should be Sprout's game, but I still want to see what Alternate are actually going to be able to do with it. I think we're going to throw it over to a break just for a moment, guys, because it does seem like we're going to have a couple minutes before we get back into it. I've got to get the title and stuff updated, and I can't do that without making Mike disappear because I'm just a magician without even trying.
Aha.
So with that, we are going to send it over to a quick break, guys, but stick with us. As soon as we come back, we are, of course, going to have this second semi-final of the day going live, and we'll be finding out who's going to be joining big in those grand finals for this evening.
I was dancing on my own when you spilled that rum and coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Riverside. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you
Alright, welcome back guys. We are just about to be hopping on into the game. I think the knife round was going live just a few moments ago. Of course, we've got to wait for that delay to catch up a little bit off of the GoTV, but that gave us a cue at least that we know we're almost ready for the game. We obviously had a little bit of a chat a while ago. We mentioned the veto being Vertigo, Mirage, and Dust 2. We mentioned obviously the fact that both teams are not coming into this with their full 5-man lineup, even in comparison to the lineups that they used yesterday, rather, in their matchup against each other. So we can't even go exactly off of that, of what we are to expect. But I think we both agreed that Sprout should still be the favorites in this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of X factors. There's a lot of ways this matchup could get weird. But if you're looking at pound for pound, you're putting them on the two scales, you know that Sprout should be favored. And to predict any other way is just madness, especially when you look at these maps, and they've all played these maps recently. There's familiarity between the teams, and every time that we've seen them match up, Sprouts come out on top. So for Ultimate aTTaX, it's about changing that narrative, about changing the storyline. Problem is, they're not going to have their full lineup. Sprout's not going to have their full lineup. We've got stand-ins galore, including KZY standing in for aTTaX, who was their former coach. So he's not even a player coming in to stand in. It's just going to result in a lot of X factors, unknowns. We just don't really know how these are going to work in balance until we see them in the server. And Vertigo should be very instructive for the rest of the series. aTTaX, to make this a 3-map series, have to win Vertigo. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I need to see them with a distinct game plan coming out right away, because Sprout are strong on Vertigo, Sprout are comfortable on Vertigo, but aTTaX picked it into them, which tells me that they have a plan for what they want to do. We need to see that plan work. If it doesn't, I don't really have a lot of faith in them to take it to a 3-map series. I think Mirage will probably come out towards Sprout, but just to say.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think another thing is, another kind of thing to agree in general, if there is a map where we're to see alternate aTTaX take it, if there's one where having the stand-ins is going to affect Sprout quite a bit, it probably would be Vertigo, at least out of maps we've seen here, of course, because I feel like Mirage and Dust 2, you can give Dexter a lot more freedom, especially on Dust 2. Mirage, even, you can let him kind of do a little bit of lurking or whatever if you want, and kind of still work with Dha, because he's obviously a player that only actually has been removed from the lineup pretty recently, so it's not like they will have lost all their chemistry with him. So yeah, I feel like Vertigo, as you said, is a must win. If they don't, then it should be finished on Mirage for sure at that point. And even if they somehow took Mirage, which I wouldn't see happening, Dust 2 is then going to be another incredibly difficult map for them. So it is a must win there on Vertigo for alternate. We should be ready soon, I think. I think we have a transfer going on in the background. There we go. Yeah, we can swap over to the game now, guys. We won't hold you any longer. We swap it to the casters, and thank you. Yeah, we're here. Cool.
Caster can start the game, yeah. Casters throw to casters. All right, here we go. We'll pick it up from the casters into the casters. And away we go. Okay.
Oh, we still had German casters. I tried to unmute the feed. I got my ears blasted with German.
I think they've turned it off.
Yeah, we're good now. It was just there for a moment.
Nice exchange here out by Cement. Dennis, though, can't get away. Falcon is going to take it back, so it's even numbers here, and they haven't gotten into the plant yet. That's a great shot, though, for KZY, and a follow-up as well, so KZY comes to play. Former coach or no, stand-in or no, making some noise, and it's left to Dha to try and clutch this out. They know where Dha is, and they say, no, we're going to leave. We're gone. Just going to walk away. Or are they going to fake it and come back up ramp? No, they're actually going to take it. And now Dha, with 1:20 still on the clock, they can just sit in spawn for that whole minute, let Dha try and guess where they're actually headed, and then decide what site to hit. But they're going to do it relatively straightforward. They're going to come up the stairs. They're just going to go ahead and go into their site hit. And as a result, Dha has read it right. He's gotten into position. He'll be able to pop off some shots as they come around the corner, and it's the USP, provided he hits heads quickly, which he's done. Oh, so close to being winnable. They get away with it. Crimbo coming away with 25 points of health, Dean, but that came down to the wire. We had Sync again. Are you behind me now?
Yeah.
Crisis.
I don't know. You were like 8 seconds behind me before. It makes no sense. All right, you should be able to see my view now.
All right, I'll refresh and see if I can get back on sync with you.
All right, we should be good. Yeah, sorry, guys. We had a bit of an issue there. We're on clean feeds, but I'm now directly streaming to Mike as well as running the stream, so he should be good. He'll be seeing what we're seeing, and hopefully it'll be smooth from here on out. The question is, though,
10 seconds ahead of you.
You were 10 seconds ahead. That is a ridiculous amount. Yeah, I was trying to get the stream started so you would be synced up with me as quick as possible. But yeah, it's the force by anyway.
Watch yours.
They've got a Scout, an MP9, a few pistols. It's not too great. It's what you'd expect of a second round forced buy. But Dexter, the man who's stepping in, of course. As you said, he put out a tweet saying this is the first time he stepped in for a team and communicated in English. So it's interesting to see how that's going to affect him. But at least in terms of just hitting some Scout shots, it doesn't really seem to do much on that. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to hang on to that advantage. And they look to keep on forcing the issue. They're just being denied across the board, basically. Until Diha at least is able to snatch one on that Deagle.
Alright folks, I should no longer be casting from the future. I should be on the same line, and aTTaX, it looks like they could use a vision 10 seconds into the future because they are now in dire straits. There's an AK in the hands of Diha who has armor behind it. There's 1 point of health on Skrunk, and now Skrunk is the lone survivor. 1 point of health and a dream here, Dean, and that's all he's got to work with. And this, well, this is a disaster. Skrunk, what can he even think about doing? If they breathe in his general direction, he is going to falter. Diha is way far back. Spitty's relatively far back. They're giving him a lot of room. He could get a bomb plant towards either site. And there's not a nade here. Because what you'd be in fear of if you're Skrunk, right, is that you start to plant and they just drop a bomb on you. That's not going to happen. Instead, he's going to get caught in towards mid. Diha will have him. There's no chance to even get towards the site. He picks the wrong path. And that'll be Sprout immediately winning the force buy.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of worst case scenario here for Alternate. Not to be able to actually capitalize on, well, winning the pistol. And after getting such a good start, obviously they lost the initial kill to Dexter to that Scout on mid, but then they brought it back into a 4-on-2, I believe, at the best, before Diha got one, brought them into a bit of a more winnable 3-on-2, and then obviously they managed to take it across the line. So, yeah, bit awkward right there. Alternate, though, they have a force buy of their own. It's on a pretty similar level to what Sprout even had in the previous round. The issue is Sprout themselves, they have 3 rifles and quite a few nades as well to actually back this buy up. It's a bit more secure, of course, than what Alternate were able to get themselves in that previous round. And with already a pretty good start, those MP9s are doing some work over towards B. Spitty even getting one more, dropping down. They confirm where the final player is as well. I don't think Diha wants to give away too much here. Would definitely not want to be dropping that M4 over, but he just waits and eventually is given vision of Crimbo to put an end to it. 2-1. Sprout don't struggle nearly as much with their anti-force buy. They managed to keep 4 players alive, only losing 1 SMG.
That they do. What a move from Dennis. Just hopping on down there to chase the kills with the MP9. The man was hungry for some frags. It's a bold maneuver. 2 MP9s in this one. This should be a very clean round. You got 2 flashes, and that is the entirety of the investment coming through from aTTaX. They've got nothing. They're going to try and Glock somebody down, try and rush up ramp, it seems. Molly's going to slow them. Second Molly's going to slow them. Can't do anything about that. They'll just wait these. Try and not be in the kill zone for these HEs. Oh, that's going to do one. Just a little bit of chip. Dexter catches the first. There's the flank on. They push down mid. They've gone down the ladder. Everybody's dead. Lambs to the slaughter. It's a massacre. Barely any damage even taken by Dexter. And Sprout are onto the 3-1 line. And these first few rounds have been really quick. Really decisive. And look at this. They've already ditched one of the SMGs. Dexter's picking up the AWP. Goes for the upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for it. They may as well go ahead rather and pull it out here early on, especially if that's how Dexter is going to feel comfortable slotting into the team. Get it out. Just let him do what he wants. Free reign maybe with that. Normally they would have had Snatchy as well, kind of being a bit mad with it when if you were to think of this lineup, the one with Diha. So I don't think it's that big of a switch in terms of the play style that Dexter can deliver them here. But obviously, Alternate, they need to get off to a strong start here with their first gun round. They do not want to let Sprout just keep on building up this early lead, especially on the CT side here of Vertigo.
Now, one of the interesting things that this gives Dexter is an opportunity.
No,
I think it was. They've just been spamming the angles, right? They've been playing this game, and aTTaX were trying to test it. Well, they failed the test. Okay, that was a decent shot. There we go. Skrunk gets another. Things get interesting now. Sticking around a little too long in that ramp fight is Sprout, and they paid the penalty for it. Honestly, some of those shots probably shouldn't have been hit, but they did. And now aTTaX have a prime opportunity, so I won't talk about Dexter for the moment. He's the last one alive, so we'll be talking about him in a different context. It's clutch time for the Dexter. He's the only man, and I think he'll be heard rotating through mid. Yeah, indeed he will. Crimbo was waiting for it. Crimbo was ready for it. Unfortunately, the nade blew his right off of the skyscraper. So that's not retrievable, but that is a heck of a round for Alternate aTTaX to win. It's going to stop the economy from growing too fast, too furious for Sprout. and it's going to give alternate attacks a way back into this game.
Unfortunately, everything can be pulled right back out for Sprout, including the op for Dexter. He's able to get another, even after buying one in the previous round. He's just balling. But obviously now they have spent everything. So if alternate can get another round here, chain together their couple, very likely then being given another round off the back of it to get into the lead. So this is their chance. We are going to see Sprout again, though, actually wanting to go a bit aggressive around the ramp and over towards B. Okay, they don't want to really let go of W at all, get off the gas, as Diha finds Kazuya early on over towards B. And with this now, I was going to say, is up to alternate to make sure they take some control around the ramp. And yeah, they do so with a really nice shot from Scrunk. Worth noting, Scrunk and Stefan are the only 2 players remaining from their quarterfinals game.
That's kind of wild to think about. Such a turnover. That's what happens when you're lower on the totem pole in a scene, right? You get your players poached, you get them picked apart, you got to rebuild.
It's like, oh, you guys are looking real good. Let me take a little bit of that.
Yeah, I like what you were doing here. Let me ruin it. The flip side is the buyouts from that kind of a situation, and hopefully there are buyouts coming in for an org like alternate attacks. That's what helps keep the budget running. So it's kind of what you want to do. Obviously, you want to be competing, you want to be at the top, but the flip side is if a tasty buyout comes in that's going to help pay your budget for a good long while, that we get a healthy ecosystem going. Great shot from Crimbo. Oh, and here's some exchanges. Nicely done from Stefan. He's in a 1v1. Doesn't have the bomb down. Now has confirmation of D-House position. I think he probably knew already, but that certainly confirms it. Smoke gonna go out to allow him to come forward, but Stefan says, you know what, I'll take that smoke. Let me reposition. But as he tries to hop, it looks like Diha actually spotted him, went back through, and then spammed the top of the box. I don't even know if the spot came through. I can't quite see it on my feed. But that is nicely done.
This is one advantage of the clean feed. Oh, we didn't get a clean replay of that.
We didn't get the replay of the last kill. Now they went for the multi-kill instead.
They can't hear us, unfortunately. I'm sure they were focused on whatever the Germans were a bit more focused on from the round. More so couldn't hear you pointing it out. So that's not on production, guys. Don't blame them. Don't blame me on production, technically. But
I love not being production.
It's not
my
looking
favorite thing in the world.
Good in terms of the economy here from alternate coming back in. Yeah, you done a good bit with ECA, didn't you?
Too much. I'm bad at button push. Just let me talk. Don't make me think. Let me talk. It's a different kind of thinking, but it's a thinking that is much more natural to me. Oh, that's a lot of utility devoted to cement. I would not want to have been standing there.
Be fair, we've seen it kind of destroy. I think it actually worked for ERN at one point. That might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's worth doing if you have it. Obviously, I would generally say you don't want to devote your last molly to it, which they actually did do. But if you got a molly, might as well clear that, because that is a spot that can absolutely ruin a round for your team. Dexter, good shot. He's looking for more. I wouldn't want to hop up above that smoke if I were them. And this is going to follow it up as someone tries to go looking, and Dexter says, no. This is my site now. This is mine. And he finally gets shut down. Beautiful shot. Crisp swing, but the health is just not there at this point. They will get torn apart. Dexter did the work, and then Dennis and Favin closed it out. So nicely done. I did want to say this a bit earlier. This is a great audition for Dexter for international lineups. Dexter previously playing for Espada. This is his first time playing on a team that speaks English. He's just standing in, obviously, but it's an audition. It's saying, look, I can work in an international lineup. Pick me up. I got the skill. Now you know I can communicate or, you know, at least function in a team that speaks English. No idea what his personal level of fluency is, but it's a great indicator if he can perform really nicely in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's not against the greatest of opposition, still just playing alongside these players is also a pretty good experience from, I would say. Maybe you can learn a little bit from it at the very least, even if it doesn't kind of showcase him as much as you would want it to. But yeah, I mean, he's doing a pretty good job so far, so he definitely is. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure his English is more than functional enough to get by in CS. It doesn't need to be flawless for that, to be fair. I mean, I'm Irish. I can barely speak English.
Based on the spams I'm seeing in chat, it seems like he's got some strong support coming through.
Big Lagay in the chat. He's cool, dude.
Let's see what we got. Oh, here comes a peek. Vin working together with his teammate, trying to get some damage in ramp. We've seen this go both ways.
Not really holding off, no.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. So they're going to be able to take ramp control, just a little bit delayed by this utility, but you see how much utility it's bled out of the CT side, and there's a lot here for a setup. You got 3 mollies, so they can definitely devote 1 to cement without being worried at all. The multiple smokes. And now they've got a pick. Favin went looking. There was a gap in the smoke. He didn't quite seem to realize it. He will be punished. Being a little bit too curious.
Yeah, it was a pretty wide gap, though. He might have realized and just maybe wanted to see if he could find something himself, but yeah, it really didn't work for him. Favin is taken out early on, and yeah, it seems like pretty much all the attention anyway is put over towards this A-bomb site, so it's probably where we are going to see the hit coming in. Just the Sprout decide they want to try and push around towards the alley, so maybe this can catch a couple of those players off guard. The actual bomb site defense itself, we'll have to see how that goes, though, as yeah, I believe they've decided now to stick around. Smoke's being thrown in. They are at the moment leaving, I believe, 1 lurker. Is that the HUD messing up, or is that actually a lurker?
That is the HUD messing up, I believe. Yes, it is. No, it is a lurker. He's chilling, timed out. I'm not sure. Is he just hiding behind cement? I think he's hiding
Either way,
behind
they've gotten the
cement
bomb site. That just confused me for a second. I didn't know what was going on. Because we did have that issue earlier where there was an extra dot on the radar, but the bomb site lost, unfortunately. Yeah, only Spitty was able to get that kill. Maybe the HUD's messed up completely, Dan. I don't know. Maybe he's timed out. One of those things. I don't know what the hell is going on. It was really throwing me off. But yeah, Spitty, unfortunately, is actually the only man to contribute on the hold.
I think he did time out, and now he's moving. All right, we got him back to life. It's Crimbo. Crimbo's returned to us. Maybe he was just holding the flank that whole time. Down into its forklift. Could have been that.
It could have been, yeah. I genuinely couldn't tell. And since we're in the clean feed, I'm used to being able to just click on whoever and just be like, what's he up to?
I'll be honest, the minimap on Vertigo is probably one of the more confusing to work with, just because the lower and the upper levels, there's not clear delineations on most of the map, right? So players just flow between them very cleanly. Can make it a little bit tough to figure out. But seems like we've got a clear minimap. No bug there.
Is this
no
a
issue.
Sprout pause?
Everything's good.
I think it might be.
Looks like it.
Make sure they get the win back in. Obviously, that previous round not going too well there. They did get a little bit carried over. Reinvestment with that is pretty solid, and they have everything they could ask for again, including the up on Dexter. He was doing a pretty good job of that in that previous gun round. Not the one right there, but the one they had won before, rather.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he can come back in with a resurgence in performance. Having a look, yeah, I mean, Stefan's up there towards the top with Kazuya right now. I believe it's said Kazuya. I could be getting that slightly wrong, but I don't think it's just KZY anyway. I remember he used to play quite a bit. Obviously, he'd been the coach then for a while as well for these guys. So at least there's that. They don't have 3 players who are unfamiliar with how they like to play.
No. Yeah, no, there's a lot of familiarity from these stand-ins. I mean, with the exception of Dexter, but so, I mean, you can see Dexter's doing all right. 105 ADR, 8 kills, 5 deaths. He's adapting nicely. I do think that you're already seeing a very good CT side from Sprout. 6 rounds on Vertigo CT side is fine. You can hang your hat on that. Everything they get from here on out is just going to be gravy on top of it. If they can win this half, they're looking beautiful. aTTaX, despite this being their pick, starting on the T side, it is surprising to me. But I guess getting the chance to start on the T side is surprising to me, considering how dominant we usually see the T side rock on this map. But we'll see. This definitely hasn't looked amazing for them. Ooh, that Discord feed just sometimes goes real weird on me, Dean. It's fine now.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you got a solid internet connection.
It's okay. It's not a great speed, but it's stable enough. Thankfully, it's holding up. Dexter, though, he's got the opening kill. We unfortunately missed it. I think it was just over towards the ramp here, having a little bit of a peek in with Spitty. I do believe so, anyway. But either way, they have that early man advantage, and it didn't really give a chance for Alternate to pull anything back. No one was showing themselves, at least up until I say that right now, because Panix is going to get himself a frag. Nearly to drop on D-Half out there as well for Strunk, but sadly wasn't able to get it, and now they're just getting picked apart. Good damage being done on Crimbo. Honestly, it looked like that was going to be the kill initially. Oh, and deciding to go further forward. Dennis gets the stride.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a mistake. We've seen him do it a couple times. Obviously, the previous time was an MP9 where they were in like a 5v2, so it was fine. But you got to be a little careful around that edge. Unless you know exactly what's on the other side of it, it can really get away from you. You're going to boost a player up behind the danger panel? Now this peak could be deadly for Diha. I don't think he's exposed to it just now, playing behind the girder instead to give him a little bit of space. To try and keep it. And that is going to be Diha who gets the better of him. Yes, he goes down, but he's done enough. He secured the round, and Favin is there for the cleanup. Sweeps them under the rug, and Sprout take a 7. And what a time to do it as well.
Yeah, just unfortunately for Alternate, it's just one single round, get returned on, and get left in a really bad position. They're scraping together to buy. I mean, it's solid enough on 4 of the players. It was only Scrunk, I think, who actually couldn't afford the rifle, but still, it's not a position you want to be put in winning a single round before being returned on then by Sprout. Especially when we pointed out it is your own map choice. This is the map choice here of Alternate, and we said that it's almost a must-win with Mirage and Dust 2 then coming up afterwards. Good opening kill by Grimbo, though. Able to actually catch Dennis, who got very, very adventurous. Damn. Dropping down the ladder. He might have peeked the top and just fell down afterwards. Either way, an ambitious peek. Oh,
It's
they had Diha and Spawn as well. Okay, they just don't care.
That's the beauty, though. Well, they went for mid-aggression, right? They push Diha all the way through to Spawn. They have another guy go check ladder. The ladder guy loses, but Diha's got Spawn, and now wherever attacks try and hit on the map, they know a flank's coming in. They have to respect it. So then go for ramp. That's a relatively easy flank to hold. You hold the guy back to watch forklift, and it'll be all right. But they are going to take over. Dagster's in a bit of a tough spot. He's going to have smokes for cover, but he's lost his teammate, and he's going to have to back away to play a retake with his squad. Here comes that flank we were talking about, and Diha makes good on it. He is so good. Okay, Diha does get taken down. It's a 2v2, but the health is not there. Unfortunately for Sprout, they don't have HEs, but they're going to get it done with the guns. That's all they need. On to Stefan. He can play off the bomb. This is still recoverable, but smokes are going to be in his face. Flashes are going to be in his face, and they can hop on the defuse. They do have a kit as well on Speedy. Surprised they're just pushing this, but Dagster gets the kill, so it's fine. 3 kills for Dagster in the round, an 8th round on the board for Sprout, and a really strong retake in that post-plant scenario.
Damn. Okay, yeah, that final shot as well. The head just barely, I suppose, shown over, and Dagster able to just rip it off. He's up to 12-6. What was that, a 4K from him in that round right there?
3.
3, okay, yeah. He had gotten one in the previous round. That's what it was. 8-3 though. Sprout gonna go ahead and just keep on building up this lead for themselves. As we said here on the CT side of Vertigo as well, on their opponent's map choice, we need to see Alternate getting themselves going real soon here. Otherwise, it is going to be looking pretty difficult for them to get themselves back into this. With, as we said, Mirage being the next map, which is so fantastic for Sprout. At least in a regular sense. You never know when they have a couple of stand-ins. Even if one of the stand-ins was very recently one of their players. Oh, are they going to double up sandbags? Okay. So they'll let Favin see if he can get a kill, or maybe 2. That would be really nice. And then hope the second player doesn't get mollied in the meantime.
Now here's the thing: if you've got 2 players in this position, smoke
they
comes
can
in
still play
immediately.
it though.
Yeah, they can play fine. I was gonna say you need to have a smoke pulled, right? Because you don't want to lose health on 2 players. Such a commitment. So they know the one's here. Oh, there's the swing. If they kill the one, they might think it's clear. This is a risky gamble to make for Sprout, but it's the one they want to do. And you know what? Favin gets a kill, so now it's a fine gamble because now they're going to completely discount Dennis's position. This is such a cheeky baity play, but it's going to work. He's got 2. 1, 2. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. 1 more player out towards the ramp. That is such a cheeky setup. And he's going to get the 3rd. No, not quite. Flubs the spray a bit. The nade chases at 4 health for Grimbo. But it is a 1v1. Doesn't have control of the bomb. Diha would be a little bit careful about that spam if I were you. 1 headshot finding you back the other way, and this could all go awry. But Diha is now going to withdraw, play it patient, come back into the angle. Just needed 1 bullet anywhere on him. I love how cheeky that setup is towards Cement. Basically, you're sacrificing Favin so that they'll completely overlook Dennis. And Favin even gets a kill, which is brilliant. Because then you see, they just completely discount this guy's spot. He gets 2. He should have had the 3rd, to be quite frank. That was great.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised that you said that he didn't get the 3rd kill, but he done great damage, so it made it fairly straightforward then for the finish to come in. Yeah, 9-3. Sprout just keep on running away with his lead, and finally it's actually going to be another half buy just coming in from Alternate. So they don't even have much to contest with in this round, so very likely we're going to have Sprout on double digits. At that point, Alternate fighting for an optimum 5 rounds on their G side of Vertigo, which even if you get that isn't really too good. It's definitely not the position you want to be in at the halftime on your own map pick. But it looks like we are going to see a bit of a challenge now around the A ramp. So we'll see what can be done. Okay, they actually end up finding Spitty over the smoke there. That was, I believe, one of the SMGs. I'm pretty sure anyway. Diha's going to fall back alongside Dennis now. They have 2 players anyway set up on the bomb site. But no, it was actually an AUG. Never mind. Okay, well, that's a rifle suddenly. I'd like to see them get it into the hands of Crimbo, Stefan, or Kazuya. Just Skrunk is tagged, so yeah, he does need to swap it over preferably. There we go. Yeah, Stefan has it. So maybe they can work another pick with that, suddenly get a 5-on-3, and then just swarm a bomb site, and then suddenly there's a path to maybe stealing this round away, and then potentially having a 6-round half on the table. Who knows?
Yeah. That would be nice. Certainly more than they got now. I'd say 5 is the bare minimum they need for this to be a competitive game in the second half. So, 2 of the next 3. That's what they're looking for. Dagster does Dagster things. Gets himself a kill. And here's the thing. They want to threaten this off. It's not a recommended approach. Dennis is now taking another. Dennis cleaning up towards the scaffolding. Dagster on the scene. He's got support. And he's going to finish off the last. So they lose 2 bodies. But nothing gets taken through for Sprout. Or for aTTaX, rather. Sprout now have double digits. They're in the 10-3. 5 rounds is the best case scenario for aTTaX from here on out. They picked into this map, Dean.
Yeah, I'm scared for them a little bit. I still don't know what to expect of them on Mirage, to be fair, with Dexter as the stand-in, but it should be much easier to slot a stand-in on.
I just don't get picking into this map against Sprout. It is their highest win rate map over the last 3 months. They're so good on it. The eye test tells you they're so good on it. Anytime you watch Sprout on this map, it's like, okay, they're going to put on a clinic. I don't understand the decision. Very strange. But they tried to catch him off guard.
It's a bit of a
Stefan will catch Faven off guard in this round.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they've had, what, they lost at the end point? They lost Vertigo? I think that was like,
I don't know.
3 weeks ago at this point. Other than
Yeah.
that, though, they even 16-6 to alternate just yesterday. So I'm guessing it's kind of like they looked at that and seen some things that they could improve on and maybe something they could exploit. But the issue is they're not even playing with the same roster today.
Yeah, I was going to say, unless you looked at their previous results and you said, okay, Snatchy was the answer, right? Like, he was the only reason they were good at Vertigo. But it's not true. I don't know. I
And then
just
they've got Dexter. He's still
And
needs to
Dexter,
be
yeah,
done.
Dexter's great.
He was on 15 kills a second ago.
Still, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe in the half switch, they're going to have something to work with. Obviously, they didn't get their choice of side. Sprout chose to start on the CT side, so maybe this is going to play counter to everything we expect out of Vertigo, and alternate aTTaX are going to have an absolute shutdown round. Dexter's going to get boosted so that he can peer over the smokes on site. As they come around the ramp, he should be able to kill one. He certainly does. He tags a second with that shot as well, so he's saving on bullets. Being very economical here. Sprunk will get one, but Dexter, that wasn't a kill. It looked like it should have been. The X-rays were deceptive there, but the planter gets spammed down. So no bomb plant for you. You're going to have to move another player towards site, and in the meantime, damage is going to be coming in, and it's just on the Skrunk. And Skrunk is not long for this world, as the man we were talking about, Dexter, collects his second kill of the round. He's on 17-7. And he's not the only one who's having a great game. It's 17 kills for Dexter, 16 for Dennis, and then I think 15 for Dika as well. So the top of the board for Sprout is thriving.
That first shot, though, was a nice little flick. Yeah, no, you've got those 3 players really standing out right now. Faven's always insane as well, but he, a lot of the time, at least when he wasn't needed, if it's a game where they're having a good time, he kind of just chills back. That's what I'd always see when it was Diha and Snatchy who'd be maybe topping the board as well. If they were having a fantastic game, stomping, Faven wouldn't be too pushed to go get those frags. He doesn't seem like he's someone who cares too much as long as they're winning. That was a good nade, though. Damn. And some spam alongside it just wrecks a player elsewhere. So alternate, I mean, barely haven't seen anyone so far in this round. Already have 3 players heavily tagged up. Maybe the Mac 10 can find a bit. He did spot the player on the other side of the smoke, but unfortunately the op above was also distracting as well. It is working for now. Okay, alternate have got themselves a man advantage, but no, that's the bomb now down. But they've got the trade. Okay, they should be able to stabilize this and recover that bomb. And honestly, at this point, could have committed A if they wanted, but with it being kind of a few seconds they'd need, as long as they go together now. And yeah, actually Crimbo would even walk through B.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. So
He's got so much space and
100%
control.
at this point the bomb goes down.
They know it's safe. He's got control back in towards spawn. Now he has to be looking the right way.
Nice molly.
He's got responsibility both for mid and for spawn, which makes it a little awkward for him. But if he gets the right read on this, and he is indeed, that's a huge kill. Now it's all on Dennis to clutch. Dennis has no utility. He's coming from the wrong side of the map. How's their money looking? I could even see him picking up an AWP and just tucking it, although it's the last round of the half, so that would be very foolish on his
save
part.
an up into a pistol, no?
I gotta have it. I mean, can you imagine if he did? They never
Game
see it
glitches.
coming. They never see it coming. So Dennis in the attempted clutch, he's going to take the first. The players are low. It's possible, but no. Zuya says no. Denied. Shut down. Rejected.
Jeez, the music
Ooh.
started quick.
I liked it. Bumping. Bumping.
We'll have to go to our break anyway, guys, because of course there is going to be just a couple minutes. We get our ad break in quickly. We'll throw it over to that pause screen. But when we return, we're going to find out if Alternate can get themselves into this map at all. It's an 11-4 half. It was Alternate's map pick, and so far it really has not gone well for them. So stick with us, guys. We'll find out how it ends soon.
Cue the music.
I was dancing on my own when you spilled that rum and coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby you make me feel something. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby you make me feel something.
All right, guys, welcome back. We said we wouldn't be too long, of course, before the second half got going live, and this is it. 11-4 at the halftime. Alternate, they need to do something here on Vertigo. As we said, Mirage is going to be an incredibly difficult time for them if they're going into it, especially already down by a map.
Yeah. It's going to be rough. So now we've got Sprout on the T side, and every general logic says that the T side tends to be very strongly favored on this map. I don't anticipate that changing majorly for these two squads. We'll see. But it's going to be a rough road for Ultimate Attacks. They're so far behind. I mean, the statistics even hold for Sprout. They usually win about 53% of the rounds on the T side of this map. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But maybe Alternate Attacks have some surprises for us. We certainly need to see it early here. This would be a great way to start on the pistol, and Panics will take the first kill. So nicely done. Favin just got overwhelmed, but 3 players out towards the A ramp. means that there can't be 3 players here towards B. Stefan is all alone. He's getting overwhelmed. He needs to hit these shots. The flashbang is good to set him up, but now he's close up against the pistol. Still comes out with 2. Stefan, big moves, money moves happening. Stefan, a 4K. They only need him. He's a one-man wrecking crew holding down B, and that'll get alternate attacks the pistol.
That was just silly. Okay, that's how you want to come alive. Give us more of this alternate. This is what I want. Are we going to see more of that from Stefan? They just across the board, they're going to need plays like this to come true.
Yeah.
Have we lost sound though?
I don't have sound coming through.
Okay, we've got it back. It just wasn't playing in the replay for a moment. That was ridiculous though. The first 2 crisp as hell, but then he made it even better. You didn't think he could. But it's this time instead Sprout who we're going to actually just take the eco. We're seeing an eco. What is this? What is this, Mike? I really don't know what this is.
I haven't seen one in so long. Haven't seen an eco till I was a man. Deagle's in. 1 P250. A dead Dennis. A dead Deha. Both Deagles down. Not looking like this is going to be a long round. And if you're Sprout, yeah, I completely get taking an eco. Because you've got a massive cushion. Might as well just wait. Let it build up. You lose 4 players to an SMG, that's not great because now Skrunk is cash flow rich. He's got 5750. Next closest teammate is on 3550. That'll tell you the magic that the MP9
dropped the up over, did he? Yeah, he did.
He did. Panics has it now. And here's where the buy comes in. That eco facilitator and AK buy up. They've got some utility. It's not great. They've got a Krieg on Degster. Unorthodox, but I love it. It's gonna get weird.
Oh,
I'm here for it, dude.
Pretty solid nade on the D-Hat right there. But yeah, we might see a bit more aggression maybe. I was thinking with those MP9s. A bit of a wild spray by Favin trying to follow up with a second headshot, but he might still have a chance for a bit more. Yeah, the timing is perfect, and there we go. He gets panics. He looked a bit panicked maybe as he was falling away. That was just bad, I'm sorry. But we're not seeing really anything great from alternate either, to be fair. So there is that. As they lose and, well, pull a bit back actually rather over towards B at least, but they've lost full ramp control. And unfortunately have someone creeping in even from behind. So even with that 1 kill from Skrunk now, he's got to shift his attention back away, and that's going to allow those players to actually advance forward and get the bomb site. Preferably they don't want Dennis to die, but as long as he can waste another few seconds, then it's going to let them, at the very least, set themselves up. And yeah, he's actually got all the way back in towards the spawn now, so he has a fantastic position to play this after plant from.
Yeah, and the brilliant thing about this is that Skrunk can't do anything, right? Because he knows that Dennis could come around behind him at any time, so he can't focus in towards the site. That AWP gets completely distracted, and there's just really nothing he can do. He's paralyzed. He's waiting for his teammate to come in and try and clear just so he can safely retreat, because at this point, is Crimbo really going to do this to him? Crimbo's really going to do this. He's like, all right, buddy, you got to get out yourself. My MP9 is very valuable. My MP9 is very valuable. Don't worry about the AWP. And he's going to die as a result. Yeah, they both die. So I thought the way they were going to do this, the way I would have thought that this would happen, was that Crimbo would clear in towards spawn, right? In towards the scaffolding area, to give them the opportunity to get the op out and save into the next round. He was very hesitant about doing that, and Skrunk, I agree with it. You couldn't really move there because you had no clue where the flanker was. You knew he was somewhere, you didn't know where. And because that wasn't cleared out, they wait a little too long, the kills come through, they get nothing saved in this round.
Yeah, that was a bit rough. Just look at the state of the economy. I mean, they'll get the buy in the next round on the most of the players, but Skrunk's going to be a bit low. They're not going to have really even many nades onto the majority of the players behind those rifles. I think Stefan, Kazuya, and Crimbo are all going to be just sitting on like 4100, right? So, yeah, not going to be a great position to be in at all. We'll see exactly what they'll be able to give us, but in this round anyway, I'm not even expecting damage. You've got Stefan and a Deagle and Kevlar, sure. And, I mean, they might even have to consider another eco. I don't know, because then at that point you're potentially giving over a 14-6 lead to Sprout, and that means you can't drop another round without, at worst, having to play for an overtime. So, yeah, it's rough. Nice kill, though. Panics gets 1. They are unfortunately losing the bomb site in the meantime. Dennis is low, though, so, I mean, if they can finish him off and maybe get a bit more, I mean, get a couple Deagle headshots as well, and that's going to help you maybe even have a chance to win the round, but it is still seeming like it's a bit too far out of sight for them, unfortunately. Stefan's got an AK. That could be a big save.
It could be. He wants the round, though. I think they know they've done a bit of damage. He's sticking around. This is risky for sure.
Okay, that was the healthy
one. Killing the high HP player. That was interesting. Okay, Favin goes forward and gets it. Favin had a spray as he came around from the side hall with 3 players exposed. Managed to only take 1 of them. It didn't look good, but he winds up taking both kills that he needs to win the round. And that's what ultimately matters. Diha with the big openers here. I mean, that was a round they absolutely should have won. It looked a little shakier than it needed to be, but they do ultimately win it. That's what matters. You're so close to victory. You can taste it. Team, I mean, they're right on the edge of this first map win. Oh. And that's a nice spam. Panics can't get away behind the danger panel. There are 2 more players here, so there might be a stronger hold than they're expecting. Crimbo could perhaps catch them off guard, so they might not expect a second player in this position. A hail of utility means his teammates not really going to be able to help him, and Stefan's dead now, so he definitely won't help. And it looks like Diha and Dennis were aware of it the entire time. It's not paranoid if everyone is in fact out to get you, and they were ready for it.
Yeah, leaving Kazuya at least able to put a stop to the initial push by taking down 1 player, but that's it. It's going to be his teammate taken out elsewhere. They didn't even care about moving back or anything. They just take the fight in towards the bomb site and put that lead up 14-6. Having a look at the scoreboard, Spitty, I didn't even notice he wasn't having a very good game at all. I suppose everyone else is stepping up.
Doesn't need to.
A couple players have slowed down, actually, because at the halftime, wasn't it like there was one... I don't think Favin was doing as good. Yeah, he was down to like 9, so he's definitely picked it up at the halftime. Dennis, Diha, and Dexter have all gotten a few kills as well, but Dennis has kind of stepped up, or rather Favin has been like, I want a few of those kills at least. Spitty's still chilling, though. I'm sure he's busy with calling.
I mean, if you're 14-6, I don't care what your bottom fragger's pulling. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I just meant I didn't even notice he was so quiet just because they are all doing so much is kind of... It caught me off guard. I'm used to being able to hit my own scoreboard, you know? Can't do that right now.
There you go. Can't keep track.
Only pistols, though. They want to play for the over... Oh, no, it is the force buy. Never mind. On to most of the players. Not all, though. That's weird.
Kazuya can get this. I mean, maybe... look, Kazuya's standing in. He's like, you know what? I'll take the hit. I'll save up for the AWP to drop it over. That's fine. Selfless player. He's going to... selflessly die right there. Not much you can do. Headless, yeah, indeed. Hard to have a sense of self when you got no dome. Panics is about to get caught here. There's really nothing he could have done about it to anticipate that Spitty would have already been over the berm. Now they've got the B site completely free and clear, but they're just going to kill everybody everywhere. They've taken A, they've taken B, they don't care. And that's going to be Spitty to finish off the last. Nice round from Sprout. No nonsense. And now they've got a map point to play for. And as he said, half the players forced into that last round, so they've got no cash. And it's 9 map points in a row for Sprout.
Yeah, I don't see much of a chance here for Alternate to get their feet back on the ground on Vertigo. And as we said, Mirage is up next. That's another map where we expect Sprout to have a relatively easy time, especially if everyone keeps playing as they have been so far throughout this one. And the attempted aggression at least not going to work out. They did force the first player back out successfully, but they didn't expect Diha to be waiting up close as well. And Crimbo with an MP9, he's probably not going to be trying to fight this too aggressively. I mean, he's taking some peeks and stuff. Okay, did use the flash over. It's a bit risky, though, because if he went down, then suddenly they probably would have lost B. They've now got a second player there, but unfortunately, that's not even where they need it to be, because it's the A push that's coming in, and they even cleared a sandbag. Panics isn't able to do anything with it.
He was optimistic that because they'd killed the Opera, they would focus in towards site. The idea there is that if the Opera gets that first kill, yeah, they focus in on the Opera, but they killed the Opera, so they just cleared him out, and that's going to be the game, folks. That's going to be the game. Sprout putting on a clinic, not really breaking much of a sweat, especially in that second half. They dominated Alternate aTTaX, and Alternate aTTaX looked completely out of their weight class. We thought it was a weird pick to come in and pick Sprout's arguably their best map against them, but figured Alternate aTTaX might have some tricks up their sleeve. They did not. They did not have enough tricks to keep pace with the Sprout squad, even with stand-ins. So we're on to Mirage. We're on to Sprout's pick. Not feeling super optimistic about Alternate aTTaX's chances here, Dean, but anything is possible.
Yeah, I've got to agree. Again, as we said, they have played Mirage. They played it yesterday. It went 16-11 to Sprout. Again, that was with their normal lineup and not with the current one. But then you also don't have Crystal playing for Alternate. They've got Kazuya standing in as well. So it's not like they have their full lineup either. And when if you are to just put players versus players on paper, which is kind of what you have to do in these cases sometimes, you've got to go with Sprout. They've also got Diha, who only really recently left the roster. Yeah. So you can kind of just count them as having the one stand in with Dexter as well. So yeah, it's going to be a tough time heading on towards Mirage. I hope we can see something from Alternate, because I would very much enjoy seeing Dust 2 as the decider, even though that's also a map that Sprout were able to beat them on the just the other day. So I don't know. We said Vertigo was a must-win. We kind of have to stick with that as well, I believe. It does seem like this is right now the path for Sprout to take that 2-0 and head on into the finals at that point, of course, to take on Big, who are waiting for them. But guys, we're going to have to send it over to a bit of a break, so make sure you stick with us. When we return, we are going to have Mirage.
I was dancing on my own when you spilled that rum and coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby, you make me feel something. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby, you make me feel something.
standing in the clouds, and I'll take it. Yeah, reminding myself to just let go. Don't wonder how far I can fall. Don't look down, never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out. Never fade out. Don't look down, never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out. Never fade out.
Said I'd find a way to turn my heart into something gold. Knew I sold my soul to the devil long ago. I rode it all along on your wave right before it broke. Time was thrown down the well, so I let you go. What I do right now. What I do right now for you. If you
All right, everyone, welcome back as we are getting on into the action now with the second map, of course, of the of this semi-finals for the evening. Anyway, it is Sprout and Alternate on Mirage now. One sec, I'm just getting a clean feed going for Mike so we can see what's going on as well, so we can have our co-commentator. But nice opening kill. Skrunk actually getting the first kill. That's taken all of the attention away from the fact that aTTaX is still just chilling under the balcony. But he's not even needed, so it doesn't matter. Oh my god, okay, they can't get anything. Sprout are getting denied and completely shut out of that A-bomb site. Dexter, the stand-in, is the only one to get a kill in the end, so that's a swift pistol for Alternate.
I have no idea how Skrunk didn't die to the guy on stairs. I mean, even though Skrunk, the guy on stairs, I don't actually remember who it was, did immediately get dropped by Crimbo, but he still should have gotten the kill first. Would have made a difference in the round. Just surprising there. Not a great pistol round for Sprout, obviously. But considering how dominant they were on Vertigo, we need to see a lot more from Alternate aTTaX before we start to buy into this. It's going to be Deagle showing here. Shouldn't be able to get much done. D-HUD does a little bit of damage, but he gets dusted up himself. I don't know that Alternate aTTaX is going to want to stick into these long-range angles because all it takes is one head pop and suddenly the round is on his heels. But Crimbo will chase in the kill and take the first. That's nicely done. Panics gets a follow-up. Speedy's all the way into connector, but he's just got a Glock and he's being pushed back by an AUG. That's not an ideal situation. Two players are going to swing. They're eventually going to overwhelm one. The trade's there, the nade's there, Spitty. There's just nothing going to be doing. Nearly connects another kill, landing a dome shot on towards Skrunk. So decent attempt there. But ultimately, only going to be minor casualties here, and Alternate aTTaX are just going to kind of keep cruising.
Worth noting, though, they did also get that 2-0 start back on Vertigo, I believe, right?
No.
No.
Because they had only won one round for a while, hadn't they?
Was it?
Or am I thinking of two? No, I may be
that was the
thinking
one
of a different
before,
map.
right?
That was the one before.
I think
You're
that was the
absolutely
game
right.
before, yeah. I think it started off a little bit closer in that one for sure. Either way, though, hopefully they will be able to get a little bit more with it from it this time, because you don't want to be giving away this first gun round, especially here on your CT set of Mirage. And it certainly hasn't started too well, because Panics has already been dropped. Crimbo has a chance for the return, but no! Didn't see Dennis coming up through the smoke, and Dennis gets a second onto Skrunk. He's also confirmed Stefan's position in behind triple, and they must know where Kazuya is, considering they've done so much damage, I would imagine, around short. But it just doesn't matter anymore. They've just cleaned up this round. Pretty much as convincing as we've seen that pistol being for Alternate, as we'll see what Kazuya can do. I was going to say, will the foot be spotted? I think in theory he could see it a tiny bit if he was holding the right angle, but it doesn't matter for now. They are both being pretty patient, and in the meantime the bomb is just being brought back around through mid, and maybe even on towards B. No, they're going to bring up connector, I was wondering. It looked like he was tempted to go up short and join his teammate for a moment. Yeah, they don't need to give anything away here, though. They definitely don't want to be pushing Kazuya. Oh, there we go, yeah. Told you you could see the foot. I was just waiting for him to spot it.
He identifies it. What's wrong with this picture, right? Looking through the mirror hole. What's wrong with this picture? Where am I supposed to pluck a player? So that's a nice round to get on the board for Sprout. As soon as the guns come out, it's a difference maker. We're going to see an investment here from Alternate aTTaX, which is going to be a bit of an interesting investment. They go for the AWP, a Scout, an M4, 2 Deagles. I gotta say, Dean, I hate this. I hate this buy. I would rather just see them save up one more round and get a real buy behind it instead of risking an AWP on a glass cannon in a round where you have nothing behind it.
It's an interesting approach, yeah. I would have preferred them to maybe focus on just getting as strong of a buyout as early as possible, but they're giving it a go, and we'll see what they can find with it, because at least Stefan has been able to get that trade there on D-Ha. They had just beforehand lost Skrunk, but that's only one of the pistols, so it's not the end of the world, really. They're at least able to keep it even in terms of the manpower. But the weapons are still overall heavily favouring Sprout. They've got great map control, and now they've even brought that man advantage in their favour eventually. Crimbo, though, okay, that's the bomb. Can he get the second and window? No! He just gave him a haircut and maybe even pierced both of the ears. That was crazy. That could have been their chance. That could have been the opening into the round, but unfortunately it didn't work out. They at least do a bit of damage, but I mean, it was the investment. Not really enough.
Yeah, considering you bought an AWP into the round, great. You killed 2. It's not really that much. It did get close, considering what Crimbo was doing in towards mid. I thought that was going to be a murder kill in towards window. We didn't actually see it in the replay, but I thought that was going to be potentially an advantage taking through for them.
He was shooting a bit too quick, I think. He could put like a bullet above his head and on both sides. So a haircut and pierced his ears for him, more than just the normal haircut, you know?
Sometimes the Deagle does that, though. Sometimes it just gets away from you.
After the first kill as well, and I think he was kind of still sprinting when he started shooting, rather.
They're holding all 5 in spawn? What? What?
I mean, yeah. Just wait for wait for Sprout to come to you, I guess.
Yeah. The way this strat is set up, you're gonna lose the round probably. What you're hoping they do is they push in, and you catch some here. Okay, here's the boost. All right, they've realized one player's there. Spitty says, haha, no, don't want to deal with that. Now they're going to come pushing out. They're going to try and catch some exits and maybe steal some guns away. That's the whole setup here. I guess if they pushed with 2 and you managed to kill both, maybe you take those guns and barrel back in towards sight, but odds of doing that are so low. Dropped off the boost as well. There's the first player found. Here's the swing. Only thing is, they just get a MAC 10 for their efforts. Not the gun they were hoping to find. And now Dennis is through the murder hole. Don't want to stick around there too long, but he's going to get 2. Don't even know if it's worth sacrificing the rifle in that situation. Haircut's being delivered here by Flavin, and they are going to clean it up. So 2 players dropped is it. That's fine. Whatever. It's all right. I like the idea. It's a very cheeky idea from alternate aTTaX. And if you're going with 5 USPs, you might as well do something cheeky and weird and try and catch them off guard. But Sprout have, to this point, shown that they're pretty steady, pretty even-keeled. They don't really get shaken by these kind of rounds.
Yeah, I mean, especially to stack back in the spawn, you've just got to hope that someone gets adventurous after they get a free bomb site, which normally isn't going to be the case either. If you get a free bomb site, you're like going to be, okay, guys, come back around here, we'll get the bomb down. So it's hard to really make it work for a lot. But obviously now they're coming into the buy. This is the round that they're focused on. Nades, yeah, they're a bit dreadful, if I'm being honest. They really don't have much, especially after putting a smoke deep in apps. They've got 2 smokes left. 6 flashes there for themselves. It's not great. No mollies or anything that can be used incredibly effectively anyway to slow pushes, other than those flashes having to be perfect. So we'll see how it goes. There's still a lot of time as well for Sprout to take themselves some control. They're, for the moment anyway, looking to probe around the B apps. They have 1 player at top mid. They have 1 in the underpass as well. Or is he even up and towards the ladder already? I think he may be.
Yeah, he is, up into the ladder.
So they've got so much control.
Absolutely. And now they're making noise out towards apartments, and that's all just to distract this cat player as much as possible. D actually drops a Molotov to prevent the pushback through, so do they want to change this call? I'm a little surprised that D has revealed position. Going to get the kill regardless, whether they know he's there or not. Panics does get a good shot with the AWP, but now he's got to be focused multiple directions, and they're actually past his crosshair, which I don't know if he realizes. Meanwhile, Flavin, killing a player under the belt, going in, not getting that exchange in towards Ticket. This is a 3-on-3. This is anyone's round. This is viable. 30 seconds as well. There's already a player through murder hole, but Dika will get collected there. So now where do they want to go? These remaining 2, this could be very awkward indeed. Panics gets taken down low. 2 players are quite low. It seems like they're going to redouble their efforts onto this B site. That nade won't catch the players. He has, in fact, moved from the position. Trying to avoid getting caught. Nice shot, though. Evens up the numbers, and now the bomb should be planted. Not much time to spare. No time to spare. But Skrunk is way far gone, and that's a mistake. Stefan needed to wait for his teammate to be there, but decided to risk it. Now it's a 1v2 clutch attempt for Skrunk. He's going to have a player behind bench and a player at apartments. It's not an easy hold. That Molly will go out, signal his presence, and not find him much of anything. Will eliminate the Van as a position. But now he's been spotted and he's been dropped as well as Dexter decides to not allow him to set up in his strat. Just go forward and frag.
I think that may have been an accidental jump as well that unfortunately kind of left him there as a sitting duck once he came out the door. But yeah, nice round, especially by Dexter. Overall, just good work by Sprout. 2 players surviving doesn't really matter when they already have a pretty solid economy building up, so I don't think it's kind of even that big of a deal that Alternate are able to do damage in that round. You can see coming into this one here, after their reinvestments, they still have quite a bit there. They're obviously up against an eco now again, so there's not a lot of positives from that one to be taken, if we're being honest. Sprout at the moment very likely heading up towards 5 rounds here on their T side, and at that point you're going to just need Alternate in the following gun round to start turning it around for themselves. Otherwise we could be looking at another pretty one-sided affair like what we've seen back on Vertigo, which is, well, not what we want to be seeing as fans of good Counter-Strike. We want competitive games. That's what I like anyway. Oh, there's 1 kill. Unfortunately, the mid-aggression overall didn't work too well. Only able to get the 1 frag themselves, losing a couple of those players.
Ooh. Tasty shot. And the problem is, yeah, they can't get to that rifle. Even the off's been dropped to bring up a rifle, recognizing that they're against pistols. Hopping into the window is Dexter. That man is bold. Man is fierce. Not a lot that slows him down. So if you're Stefan, you're trying to kill somebody and take a gun in the next round. He's setting himself up with the possibility to do it. They now know where he is, so they can bring the bomb to the site he's not near. there's zero risk remaining in this round in terms of winning or losing it. It's just a matter of can Stefan do some damage? Maybe make it expensive. Maybe take a rifle. And the answer is a big fat no. Diha has it. And this is where we see Sprout lock in as the Sprout we were seeing on their T side of Vertigo. They're dominant. They're strong. They dropped 2 rounds. Pistol, subsequent round. Now 5 in a row since the guns have come out. And they haven't looked particularly close. There was obviously that round where it comes down to a 2v2. But outside of that, it looked like it's Sprout on easy street for most of these.
Ooh.
And that's going to be Dagster catching a pick as panic tries to get aggressive up mid, wasn't hugging the wall, was instead trying to make the connector play, and he will get punished for it, because that's exactly what Dagster was looking for.
Yeah, I think he dropped that window and got caught trying to escape through a connector even. So that's unfortunate. I mean, he was a player who, back on Vertigo as well, unfortunately, was going down quite a bit early on in the rounds, and it's certainly not going to help. Being left already in a 4-on-5 here for alternate in such an important round to really give themselves a chance to get their footing in the half before it's out of control completely for Sprout. I mean, in terms of the money, it's already pretty much out of control, but they're getting towards that position where the rounds at least are already going to be good for them no matter what happens, even if somehow Sprout started losing all of the remaining rounds of the half. So yeah, not where you want to be. Let's see though.
I'm just going to say I'm a little surprised that Kazuya is picking up the secondary up here. We had seen Panics holding it before, and Panics had actually had some good shots with it, so... but I guess it's a positional thing. They wanted an op towards
To be fair, he
either
lost that at
side.
the bottom of connector.
They already lost what?
He panics when he dropped that window.
Did he have an op?
I believe so. I think
Was he
Kazuya got that
triple
off his
opping?
body. Did he not get
No,
it off his body?
Kazuya.
Oh, I'm mad then.
He dropped it at connector. Kazuya was playing B.
Oh, he tried that with a rifle then. That's even crazier.
Yeah, I don't think he had the secondary op. I'm pretty sure he was rifling. I'm not exactly sure, though. But whatever it was, we are going to have the hit in, and it does seem like all 4 alternate aTTaX players are here and ready and set up, and Scrunk gets the first, Stefan gets the second. They don't realize there's a player at stair. Dagster will get a trade, but this is a massacre. They allow them to plant the bomb. The stairs player doesn't move, and that might have been a mistake, because he could have denied this, but because they think his position's clear, Crimbo now gets Dagster, and he clears into Khan, leaves everything on Faven. Faven has the bomb to play off of, but he knows he has to deal with the stairs player. He will succeed in doing so, but shot through the box. He goes down. And Kazuya will make me eat my words because that op gets the final kill, secures them a 3rd round.
Yeah. Shutting you up real quick. I was actually going to say, I guess coming in as the coach, maybe he hasn't been playing as often. Perhaps his sprays and such could be a bit more iffy. With the op, it's point and click. You know, if you still have your brain to it, especially, then maybe that's a little bit easier for him to fit back in on. And yeah, Panics has gone towards one of those ops. So I think it was Stefan even who picked up the one then from bottom connector. Because I don't think he was doing that with a rifle. That's normally an op play. You know, drop out window, see if you can get the pick, walk back up then through connector. You can do it with a rifle for sure, but it's ambitious, especially against a team like Sprout. So I wasn't expecting it. Either way, it is Panics and Kazuya now that are rocking that double op setup. So we'll see if they can keep that up. They certainly need to. You can't afford this to be just a 1 round and then let Sprout go straight back in. They need to get some momentum going. But it doesn't really look like it's going to happen. Or at least it hasn't started off too well with D-Have boosted up above that ramp smoke. Finding Scrunk just as it fades away, literally, and Panics has taken also a lot of damage. But look at Crimbo's position. Can he get there in time, though? Can he do anything before his teammates fall?
I think he's going to be too late into it. And you can see there's even a player going back to watch flank, so they should be ready for this. He's going to have to get this kill. No, they backed off of it. Might have an opportunity here. No, coming back to watch. It's Dagster who keeps coming back to check. Little Bolt at the op is the one left behind. Get a bit cheeky. Bomb is not planted. They left Ticket exposed. That did net 2 kills in return. But here's Crimbo. Crimbo has to win this round for them. Kazuya's position is known. There's not too much he can do with the AWP. Crimbo has to win this exchange, and he will get domed. Kazuya does get a kill, but I just don't think this is viable for him. That was an insane peek from Dagster. Way over aggressive. And now in a 1v2, this is possible. Didn't need to do that. If they had the triangle set up, there's really nothing Kazuya can do without utility. But now he has a single smoke. He doesn't have a kit. He has the op. This could get spicy. This player under balcony. On top of balcony, actually, and that's Spitty who pokes out and puts him down.
Put him down. It's a bit rough. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Even after he got that kill on the stairs, onto Dagster, you said, who probably shouldn't have been peeking, I still don't think it was too great of an idea to go for it. Yeah.
But one guy peeks in an inadvisable peek, and you think, well, maybe someone else will.
Yeah, fair. But I feel like with a team like Sprout, it's one guy does that peek, and then everyone else is like, yeah, don't do that. That's silly. Let's not throw it around him. So, I don't know. An op would have been nicer. I mean, either way, they're on the eco, so it's not the end of the world. He also has really good money to come back into the op here on the next gun round, so it's not a big deal. We'll forget about that anyways. A bit of extra damage at the very least was done. And there's an opening kill from Scrunk on the Deagle, so maybe they can actually capitalize on it in this round. Who knows? Got Kevlar on a couple of the players. Oh, that was a struggle.
Surprised Diha's rocking a Galil here. Considering they've got Okuda Bucks. They are not financially impaired, if you will. See if it comes back to bite them. Although no one has had armor, so I don't think it'll really make a difference. I wonder if it's a willful choice when he knows no one has had armor to go for the Galil over the AK.
Maybe.
More
His money
bullets,
wasn't great, but he did have enough to get the extra expenditure on the AK, so maybe. I would imagine that probably is the case. He might just be a real big fan of the Galil, to be fair. Nice kill by Panic, though. That's the op. Okay. Can he get a bit more? Yeah, this is pretty much the round done at this point. He doesn't hit the shot on Spiddy, but they have a 3-on-1. They just need to play this together and make sure they don't take 1-on-1s, or if they do, to just hit a headshot like that. Great round by Panix. Gets himself a 3K.
Okay. Okay, Panix. Turn it around on us. Turn it around. There's Sprout losing to an uncharacteristic eco. That is not typically the way we see Sprout play. So this gets interesting now. What is this investment? Triple op from alternate attacks. They're going in on the op. But first you don't succeed, op, and op again. Double op wasn't working.
Maybe it was a triple op earlier.
I'm starting to think it was. I think this is their setup. They've got an op for mid and an op for each site. It's bold, to say the least. Now we've got 4 players positioned over towards A. Favin's out, but there's so many ops. Once he's exposed, yeah, he's not getting back around. I think at some point, Sprout has to sniff out the fact that they're playing very light on B. That there's a ton of responsibility on Stefan's shoulders. And if they can take him down or even flash him off the angle, that's a site taken. Ooh, they're going to go for it. They're going to threaten him. Flash is over. Molly deep for Van. Boom, you've got a site. Because even if Stefan gets pushed off, it's so hard to hold with an op once you're dancing around the pillars. It can be done, but it is challenging. Instead, they're going to dry peek him. He's going to get a kill. He's going to be able to fall. That's the way he hoped it was going to go. Going to get a second. Not quite there. Shot's not on. But they are dropped down now. Can they find this pressure? Meanwhile, 2 of his teammates have rotated into market. So now he's got the support. He's going to demolish Speedy. And this is over. Now the flank is on in towards apartments. There's nowhere to go. And Dennis will be the last to fall. So now we're just 1 round away from tying this up for Ultimate Attacks after looking lost for so many rounds in a row. They are back in this game in a big way, and they picked up a 4th op. They picked up a 4th op.
They actually? I
They
didn't see it
did.
before this popped up. We'll see it in a
Wait till
moment.
the guns come back.
Did
They picked up a
did they
4th.
keep it, though?
Scrunk picked one up.
Did they actually keep it? Why would he pick up
Yes.
another op? He was like,
Too
anyone need
many.
an op? Do we not have enough now? I'll get this one. Oh my god,
Yeah,
they've
4
actually
ops.
kept
Quad
it.
opping. They're quad opping.
Yeah, I mean, against pistols, this is the worst setup you can have. It's a force play. Sprout were like, they have 3 ops force. And it turns out it's 4. Okay, let's see. If some shots are missed, Alternate could be in a lot of trouble. Stefan needs to hit those flicks again. He's got some help anyway. There's multiple lines of support when it comes to the oppers, as they find 1 each before losing the B-bomb site. But they at least have the man advantage. And it's been extended.
It's going to work. It's going to work. Turns to jump out the window with an op out. No, he's got the sidearm. It worked. 4 of the kills in that round were op kills. 1 of them was with a pistol. Crimbo did nothing because he was nowhere near the action. So the quad op is apparently the way. The question is, they lost 1 op. Do they reinvest? They did! They did! They bought another op! Oh my goodness. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm here for the ride. Quad op is happening. They're investing into this for every round.
M4 is not good enough. They need expensive weapons. They're bougie like that.
Maybe they're just all not feeling the spray right now. They're like, we keep losing spray duels. Let's just make that not a problem.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah. I don't need a scope, is what Diaz says. He's going to take it anyway, because it's being given to him. They've unfortunately lost Dennis elsewhere, but I mean, they're bringing it back towards B. They're going to bring the bomb around. We'll see if they can perhaps take out Panix, who's rotated in, because that could solidify their control. And unfortunately, no, Panix has hit the shot, so he's got rid of Dia. Comes in, looking for more, very aggressively. I guess at that point, probably thought there was not another player ready to follow him up.
Now they've got 2 ops. 2 ops for either side. This is such a weird situation. Flavin with the Deagle gets another one. That's the 1 rifle out of play, so it's ops. Actually, KZY goes back and then swaps back to the op. All right, he did some damage on the Flavin. He says, all right, that was enough rifling. back to upping here. Kazuya and Skrunk. Are they going to attempt to retake with double ops? No, they're going to save them. Because if you're buying the quad op, you better be saving some ops if you lose a round. This is madness. Now
Surely they
Sprout's
don't
gonna
go
be
back
bringing
for it.
too.
Surely.
I am really hoping that they're going to buy 2 more ops.
I don't know. It's a bit
We
hefty
have
of an investment.
6 ops on the server, D. 6 ops!
Are you sure the issue wasn't that they didn't have 5 themselves?
Crimbo can buy an op. Panics can buy an op.
Because you
I
could
really
drop
need
one.
to see this next round buy.
They could get all 5. I want to see a more normal buy here. I mean, why? They were starting to get some rounds going, and then they just went. They were like, "Yeah,
2 ops.
I know what we're lacking. It's ops.
3 ops.
3 ops. They have a 4th.
Come on, Crimbo, do it.
Go for M4.
Crimbo went. Yeah,
This is
okay,
a
so we
bit
only
more
have
reasonable.
5 ops
We're
on
now
the
disappointed
server.
by 3 ops. The bar has been raised.
We've got double op on the other side and triple op here. The double op, they just picked it up. Like, they don't want this, but they'll take it. You give it to them. That's the first op down. Kazuya's out. I think at this point, Sprout have figured out what kind of shenanigans are working here. Specifically, they figured out that if they keep going to kill this opera who's trying to pick in towards apartments, they can consistently do it. Stefan on the other side is hoping they're going to come through, expecting an op and finding an M4. They're not going to do it. At least not yet. They are grouping up, actually, for this hit. And Skrunk's here with an op, so now they're going to expect the op. They're going to find the M4. They're not expecting the player to be in towards Van. They subverted their expectations. That nade will do some damage onto Stefan, but they're down a man. Oh, Favin brings it back, and that should be the A site wide open. A player coming into con late here. Panics is going to try and rotate around towards Ticket, but there you can see how diligently they're clearing out op angles because they know there's a million scopes poised their direction. So every possible op hole, jungle, connector, Ticket, you got to be careful about them. And it makes sense. And now the op's coming back through to look. Panics trying to get something. A player will hop in towards mid, and that's up on op. Actually, I think Skrunk had a rifle. No, he had an op. Never mind. So he's dropped. Now they've got a freebie bomb site, and they've been patient in apartments, so they're going to go back through, and Stefan is out of position. He could spot them, but coming back in from the market, it's not a favorable fight. And if we get Fafin coming through the murder hole, this could get very dangerous very quickly. Here comes the hit. There's going to be the rotation. Favin's looking for it. Favin's got it. And now it's all alone for Stefan. 1v3. He's got the M4. He has to come up huge. He gets the first, but that was the low HP player. Misses an op shot. Or dodges an op shot, rather, but Spinny puts him down with the deagle. The double op survives for the T side. An 8th round is found for Sprout. And finally, I don't think alternate attacks can buy 3 others. I don't think they have the money for it, team.
Surely not. Nah. What did they even have? We'll have to wait for a sec for the pop-up. Do they have enough? Yeah, they have enough for they've got 2 ops. I mean, you called them out. They were like, is that a challenge? And now they've got 2 ops, an M4 and an MP9. I mean, obviously they're going to buy, but I didn't think they were going to be able to get the ops out. It's not bad. They could do it a lot more nades. They don't have a kit either, which could be a bit of an issue, and they've also lost Kazuya very, very early on. The op is also very far out on short, so retrieving it for one of those other players is not going to be easy. And I don't really think they'll be given a chance to get a player wrapped around to that position anyway. Is that someone coming out of under? It is, yes, okay, Crimbo. He'd pushed up through the B apps, I would suppose. Panics has gotten a wall bang on Spitty, but they have creeped out ramp, and that was not expected from Skrunk, so it's back to the 3-on-3. A little bit of a run boost there came in for a moment. Crimbo, though, he's here alongside the op now to give help, and Favin not expecting it, gets caught creeping around this smoke. That was great damage, but Dennis actually somehow comes back and gets the kill.
He didn't quite have the lineup because of the smoke and the tick and the Molotov. It sort of set Dennis off, I think. So as soon as he starts spraying, the Snap 2 comes in, and he didn't have much health from the Molly. Now it's a 2-on-2. They don't have great positioning in. There's not a smoke available for the T side, though. If they did, this round's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You smoke off connector, you've got a bomb plant. But they don't. So they have to clear this drive, and that's very tough indeed, especially with Panics holding the top stair angle with the op. I don't know how they get past this. This is 2 ops watching them.
Oh, do you see the head?
They're into the plant, so it doesn't matter. Bomb's going to go down, and now this is really tough. Retake with 2 ops. You want to do this? Not really. It's not the way you want things to work. You're hoping they're going to give you a peek. You're hoping they're going to give you an opportunity. If they just play this patient, there's not a ton you can do. Dika is as wedged into Firebox as he possibly can be because he knows ops are coming to give him a haircut. Spots the player drop into sandwich. Stefan's actually gotten a rifle, and now they know. Now Stefan just wants to hold this off and let his teammate defuse. And they're defusing. They're making it happen. Smokes are good. He doesn't realize. Dennis doesn't realize what's happening here. He finally does, but it's far too late. That's going to be the round. Alternate pass, bring it back within 1. And we are going to have a close scoreline as we hit the half.
Yeah, A7 at the half time, especially after the start that we seen Sprout being able to get there. It was a fantastic recovery from Alternate overall. I don't know, I feel like they probably could have kept it on lock if they hadn't gone up to the crazy 4-op setup that they wanted to make work, but overall they are able to come out with a pretty decent half of themselves. With that, guys, though, we are going to send it over to a quick break, so stick with us. We'll be back with that second half as soon as we can.
I was dancing on my own when you spilled that rum and coke on my t-shirt. Yeah, your eyes made it difficult to get my baby. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby you make me feel something. And the next thing I knew, we were so ready to give in, skin to skin on that baseline. Ooh, you give me that high pitch feel, baby. We shared a cigarette by East Versailles. The way you looked at me, couldn't say goodbye. And whatever you did to make it stop, 'cause baby you make me feel something.
Alright, guys, we are back with the second half kicking off, and, well, looks like it's actually kicking off pretty quickly. Just straight up peaks coming in from both sides. It was actually panics to get to it there on mid, but Diha returning a little bit initially on A, and now around mid as well, has left us in a 3-on-3. This is very chaotic. It doesn't really seem like there's much of a plan to Alternate's approach. They're just fighting everywhere. And although it started well, it has pretty quickly crumbled and gone back in favor of Sprout. But they have got B control here at least. It distracted enough for Skrunk to actually push out.
It does feel like they called a bit of an audible here, and they are going to be able to get the bomb plant as a result of it, but it's going to be tough to hang on to. They do have armor on one player, but he's down to half. The other player, single flashbang and the Glock to work with. Now, admittedly, considering there's a Glocks, two players are half on the other side as they mount the retake. Two players moving in towards apartments. They won't be tested. Instead, you've got a burst set up here, right in the hallway. by Market. There's gonna be the shot. Gun barrel comes in as Crunk tries to clear the shelf, and that's what they were waiting for. That's what the strat was set for. Now they're gonna make it happen. Defuse will be on. Don't have the kit though. Have to go for the full 10-second, and that means Deha has to be the bodyguard. Fortunately for Spitty, Deha makes a dang good bodyguard. Kills everyone. Winds up with a pistol ace as well, Dean. And they get the defuse.
That's our second pistol ace of the day. We had one in the previous semi as well, from Sirison, I believe it was, on Nuke.
Sounds about right.
So we've been getting some good performances, and yeah, and Deha, as I said, was the one that was keeping them initially in the round, and then, as you said, made a pretty damn good bodyguard as well. So yeah, Sprout, they extend their lead here to kick off the second half. They go up 9-7. We did see the bomb go down, at least for Alternate, so with that they're going to come in with a buy. But it's 2 AKs, a Galil, a Scout, and a Deagle, and obviously Kazuya had to drop over one of those AKs, so he's not going to even have Kevlar behind that Deagle. A good start though, Crimbo, able to catch Deha peeking in towards ramp. Probably not expecting a buy to have come in, at least not to that extent. Because Kazuya showed himself, I believe, as well early with just the Deagle. So they're probably thinking, it's just a bit of an investment. They've got a few pistols buys.
Kind of insane that we've already got an op out as well for Dexter. I assume that's where Deha's money went to. Since he got the ace, all the money was concentrated on one player. They're like, we can get an op. This is going to put a ton of pressure on towards Dennis here. He's got everyone coming around. He's going to have to get these kills. He can't back out of it. So it's all on Dennis. And they're leading with the Deagle as well, which is the way to do it. He's got the first. Needs more. He's running out of bullets. He's going to do damage, but there's just not enough in the Famas to win that kind of an exchange when players are pouring in against you. Still, he might have slowed this just enough for another player to get on site. That's going to be Spitty. But he gets another. Does he realize the player's already wrapping him? He does not. He will falter as a result. So a 2-on-3 retake scenario. Both players in towards the Market. Smoke down now makes this very tough indeed. Provided attacks don't give anything away, I think this should be their round. It's tough to get out of the window, but Dagster catches Scrunk going looking. Favin gets a follow-up. And there's the kills. Oh my goodness. They do get the bomb planted, but that's all they get as Dagster and Favin have no mercy here. And AK will be taking the next round alongside an AWP, and Sprout will find their double digits. They'll find the 10th.
Yeah, I mean, at least, as you said, getting the bomb down, getting quite a few kills out of it as well, but it's not what they're looking for. When you have the full investment in, they were obviously looking for the round win. They had a fantastic position to get that round win as well, but just weren't able to make it happen. But they're going to keep on coming in with the force buys. Alternate, they want to well, force the issue, I guess. It's better than the previous one overall, but it's still lacking very few nades. There's still some Galils in play. Obviously, they don't have an op on Panics as you'd like to have, especially when you're up against Dexter on an op. And very early, as they come to a clash, it does go in favor of Dexter, with Sprout again having an early man advantage. It's just, I don't know. I wanted to see Alternate be able to get themselves going on this half, but I don't think the force buys are going to help them. I mean, obviously, if one works out, then fantastic, you're in a great position. But Sprout are a fantastic team themselves, even with standings.
I agree with you. I think they're really hamstringing themselves, especially when you think about how much of a dependence on the op they had on the CT side. Now, obviously, that doesn't work as well when you have to actually take the sites yourselves as opposed to hold angles, but still, you know they want to get it out. So, see what they can do. Lots of damage coming through here. Dennis. And we've got a flank from Spitty as well. This is the old tag team, Dennis and Spitty, and it's like they're hurting them up right now. That nade gets one, and at this point, Spitty's like, if I don't start running, Dennis is going to get all the kills. Finally comes in for the last, but Dennis didn't even seem to need him. Clean round for Sprout. Everybody survives. That means the bank starts to build in a serious way. And oh, this is a great buy for SCT. There are no CT-specific guns in any of their hands. You got 3 AKs, a Galil, and an AWP.
I think we had the same when they were, when Alternate were on their CT side. Sure, when they had that quad op, they also had 1 AK. So
true, but when it's quad ops, it's a little less impressive.
Yeah, I suppose it's only really one other weapon that they need.
They found 4 of these guns,
salvaging off their opponents. Yeah,
it's the war trophy setup.
It's only pistols here as well. All those force buys just led them to eventually have the eco anyways, and with just a worse scoreline overall. So it's just not looking too good here for Alternate. They need to win this gun round that we're coming into right now, otherwise Sprout are very likely just walking across that finish line and going on to take on big in the finals at that point.
Yeah, it does seem to be that. It does seem to be that. This is where we're going to need to see some sort of resistance, preferably the round one. What do we got? I'm surprised they didn't pick up the second op for Diha. They don't want to deal with it. They're just going to stick with the rifles. It's been working. Why not? They're winning the rifle exchanges. Stick with that. Good shot for Panics. The ops back out back side, and they've been good with it. But Panics overplays his hand. Crimbo does get a trade. He's got a ramp. Crimbo gets a second. Here we go. A little bit of rifle work, and 2v4 now. Bomb planted. There's money here for Sprout. They can certainly go for it, but there's also a logic that says you've got a 5-round lead. Play it safe. Save the guns. Footsteps in mid. Skrunk knows he's coming. Skrunk's waiting for it. Skrunk's ready for it. Skrunk should have this. Skrunk's waiting to see if the second comes out. Is he going to go for the knife? Just kill him, Skrunk.
Afraid, not gonna lie.
There we go.
I could feel Spitty just spinning on him or something.
You wait that extra second to see if a second player is going to come in, but as soon as you start moving out of your position, just get the kill, man. Don't get a knife when you're down this much.
Yeah, he didn't get too greedy, thankfully. Dennis has decided to save. It would have been nice to get both weapons, but it's not necessary. I mean, even without, as you said, saving the weapons, they still have enough to buy. Deha would probably be a little bit low and would have to get a drop, which would mean potentially Dexter wouldn't have the op, so at least saving over one of them is a nice addition. Dennis can give that gun over easily then. And yeah, they'll have everything that they need. The thing is, Alternate at least survive with 4 players, so they will be able to get all of the nades coming into this round as well. They'll be able to get their weapon, the op back over towards Panics. I would imagine they're going to give it to him. Skrunk could hang on to it. We seen him rocking it a bit on the first half as well, maybe depending on the spawns and such. But at least Alternate have a chance here to string some rounds together, because they got going on the previous half. They had a slow start then as well, and still managed to get themselves back into the game and at least come out with a respectable half. They need to do the same right now, though. That is exactly what they need, and that's a good start. Skrunk actually finds Deha, who made the short jump. That's I mean, that's a bit of a kicker right there. You make the short jump, you're feeling good about yourself, and it just doesn't work, unfortunately. What the hell? My feed just randomly refreshed.
Mine did as well.
Well, you were watching mine, so yeah.
That's true. I am watching your feed, so that makes a lot of sense. That actually explains a lot right here. It was an early morning. You know, give me a break here. We've got the hit coming through, though. We'll see if Alternate Attacks get given a break. They would love another round. They do have the advantage. Everything should be playing for them. Panics is out in the open, just using a smoke as cover. This is bold, and he's going to be rewarded for it. Gets the kill, gets not the second. 2 actually come back. Now it's even numbers, and the bomb's still not down. So this is getting concerning. Getting very concerning. Dexter, the upwards ticket, player and connector. These are strong positions to hold, strong positions to play through. Skrunk's gone looking. He's going to go through the murder hole, but in the meantime, while he repositions, his teammate's in a bit of a rough spot. He wants to go for the hop through. He spots it. Doesn't have the kill, though. Reveals his angle. I'm going to have to play back in. Skrunk's going looking. Dexter's not found it. Here's Skrunk in action. Dexter's not long for this world. He looks back, actually. The right idea, just not the kill. Now it's Spitty in a 1v2, but with only 18 seconds, they still have to cross in front of him to get this bomb plant, and they don't have a smoke to clear it. They know where he was. They're throwing the bomb to fake it, and then they double swing. Whew, he picked the wrong one. If he starts with Kazuya there and swaps to Skrunk, he might have that kill. But instead, he takes the healthy player, and they both wind up with low HP.
Yeah, I mean, either way would have been a pretty difficult one for him to get both kills, but to maximize chances if he had went with that, but there's no way you can know. It's just such a difficult spot to be in. 12-9 though. I mean, there's still a bit of a lead here for Sprout, so I don't think they're too worried about losing that one, but they do get forced to an eco, so Alternate are about to very likely hit double digits here, and I think that's when it really starts to kind of get real in your mind that it is a game that's potentially still able to go either way, even if it hasn't felt like it up till that point, which this one hasn't most of the time, if we're being honest. But what can we see from Sprout? I don't think we've had any moments where one player has just gone crazy with the pistols. Like every time Big, it seemed like they were getting down and out a little bit in a round against the ERN. You had Tabson just get a 2k with the Deagle pretty much every time without fail. I don't think we've really got that. Weird freeze. Hello? There we go. I think we're good now. Clean feed's having a bit of a seizure.
Hopefully it sticks with us.
I think we're good now. It seems to have stabilized. I don't know. It just refreshes every now and again on its own.
We're going to get a nice bomb plant here. Dennis will retrieve an AK. They'll be able to take that into the next round. There's not really much they can do other than set up for exits. They decided to gamble on one site. They chose wrong. Or rather, Alternate Attacks figured out where they were gambling and went towards the other. So it's nicely done here. We are going to have double digits for attacks, and you're right. We do have a game on our hands here, which for a long while there didn't seem like it was going to be something we got. This is going to get interesting. You're going to have money for the AWP in the next round. Even the AK means they could even very comfortably go for the double up if they wanted.
That it?
Sorry, what was that?
I said, is that it? The bar of how many ops I expect now is being raised after
That's true.
we seen alternate attack rider voluntarily go for a quad op setup.
Look, they could glass cannon go for a triple op. I don't think it would
It's
be
a bit
good
much.
idea.
Nah, I think 2 is plenty. Even then, they don't really need it. They're actually going to pull out the secondary op on Favin. Okay. He's more than capable. You see Dennis do it a lot as well, depending on the map. He likes it on Dust 2, especially. I've seen Deha even at moments use it because there was a lot of times Snatchy wasn't able to play some games and they were having NKJ step in and then they just swap it between all the players. So yeah, I mean, they would be capable of pulling out that quad op setup as well for sure. But they're good with 2. Dexter and Favin both good enough. Well, pardon, good enough, you know what I mean.
See where they go. No contest in towards mid, which is interesting. So we're going to see the players rock up mid.
Hello?
Themselves. Take the space. Did it finally die?
It may have. Oh.
Oh, no, we're back. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine.
We had no issues with it up until now.
Please, clean feed. Don't do this to us. Not now. Not at the final moments. There's the opening pick. It's Panics. His op chimes in. Dennis is down for the count, and Dennis has been a strong performer for the squad. Look at how open B is. Skrunks just walked out. He's in towards Van. There's a player in market, but that's it. And the player in market's even playing passive. That's Degster, who's looking for aggression. He's not going to find it. Skrunks all the way out towards the bench. Degster isn't even looking in towards apartments. He's looking for the wraparound as he already thinks they're through. Wally's probably going to push him back. It doesn't tick him. Instead, it ticks Spitty. This could be a save. I think it is a save. They've got no money to spare. They invested the double op. They're backing out. They don't want this. They don't want to deal with this. They're going to give alternate attacks around. They're going to give them an 11th. And that means, Dean, that this is going to be a brawl through the end. Because we're going to get another buy here for Sprout. Oh, my goodness. Down and
They
off.
need all 3.
Can't cross
What's
that.
their loss bonus? Is it full
Not
yet?
good? I don't think so.
It needs to be full if they want to afford a buy.
They should be able to retrieve this op. Now he knows one's there. They're going to flash to be able to cross. They're going to be all right. Ooh. Couple players might be limited, though. Let's see what they're rocking. 2,900. They can drop some Famai. Favin has money. Okay, so he can drop a rifle and still get armor up for himself. One player is probably going to be on an MP9 or a Famas.
Famai, though. I love it.
I mean, what else would the plural of Famas be?
I don't know. I'd asked before and I was told I was stupid for asking because it doesn't matter, apparently. I think I asked Mitch once. He's like, who cares? Just call it FAMASs.
The Famai. Definitely about the Famai.
I'll go with Famai. I'll join you on that one. But they've only got one FAMAS for now anyway. That's not too bad. As you said, Favin was able to just drop over an M4 as well. So pretty good buy overall from Sprout. But if Alternate win this round, then suddenly they're probably taking themselves a lead, as there wouldn't be enough without another save for Sprout to get the buy-in. So we'll see exactly how this goes down. This time, again, not really challenging mid, but they were at least looking to watch it a little bit more actively. But that timing was as bad as could be possibly there for Spitty. They have another player up in Connector as well, but he's also being flanked on now from jungle. And despite getting that first kill, he's left on 12 health. So how much longer can he survive? Can he do any more? Potentially, because he does actually have Favin here as well. But, oh, Favin, no!
What is happening?
Gets caught from Palace.
Wait, you just forget that people couldn't come out the other side of the map? He was so focused on the jungle guy, and he was right. There's someone in jungle, but you can't just stand there in the open. That doesn't work. Maybe he thought Dexter was watching this more actively, but I don't think Dexter was there at the time.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So now it's a 2v4 trying to come back through, and it looks like they're committed to trying to fight this, but they've got a pincer, they've got a flank. He's going to come through Palace instead of ramp. I don't know. Some really odd peaks coming through in these last few from Sprout. It's almost like their roles have reversed, right? Alternate attacks have gotten the confidence on. They're feeling like the team that just feels like they can take any peak. Meanwhile, nothing's working for Sprout. I mean, that jump in towards window was so bold. It should have been punished every day of the week. It was a dry peak. There was no utility behind it. Instead, Spitty gets caught with the awkward timing. This is just kind of wild here, Dean.
I think he had just taken out a flash or a smoke or something. It was horrible timing, and then it took all of the attention of Favin because they just weren't expecting to lose windows so early. As you said, I don't know if Dexter was in position to cover off the Palace push out there or not. Even if he was, it didn't do much for him. Favin unfortunately went down. They just kind of had lost the round nearly at that point already. Tied up at 12-12. I said off the back of that, if Alternate did take themselves that round, they would very likely be claiming a lead. And yeah, that's likely what we're going to see here. It is a bit of an investment from Sprout with the full loss bonus going, but they've mollied themselves. So that's not really going to let them do much.
It's for the smoke. If they throw a smoke for window, It blocks it and gives you a really good
Dexter
angle.
wanted the deep though. He was
Oh
pretty
no,
sad
they
about
won
it.
themselves! And then
I'm in the
Molly hit
future.
his teammates back
I'm
and
in
then
the
had
future.
to put it out himself with his smoke. Alright, this round's
Call
a
me
comedy of
Mystic Mac.
errors. We're gonna have a 5-on-5 retake now. Bomb should go down momentarily. The site is lost. Player coming up underpass. That's huge. D-Hud, that was a big kill. Now they have to worry about the apartment flank, and that's another gun found for D-Hud. Now things get interesting. Speedy comes away with 2. The Deagle, it's making noise. D-Hud gets another in the apartments. It's all falling apart. Of course it does. On the eco. That's where it happens. Guns get retrieved. A full buy is found, and Sprout says, you want the lead? You better win an eco first. And they can't do it. Alternate attacks. They made it over so many hurdles, and they stumble on the starting block.
God damn it. That's how it always goes. Yeah, I mean, they kind of started getting a bit going back on Vertigo as well, right? And then ended up losing to an eco. We seen in our previous matches earlier in the Big versus ERN game that Big were able to win a couple of those weaker buys as well and steal kind of away momentum, especially in the in the late moments, rather. They actually kind of stole away the first map from ERN off the back of winning themselves an eco. So I don't know, I've been seeing too much of that today. It's sending me crazy. And yeah, it's Sprout instead who've gotten the lead back. There is enough for a buy for Alternate, obviously. They have loads left over again for another. But still, you do not want to be losing rounds like that when you're in such a drastic position where you still need to pull back another map even after this one. But Crimbo and Stefan, it doesn't seem to have hindered their performance, apparently. That's a bit wild from Skrunk. I don't think I'm a fan of that push.
Bomb's going to go down now. They do have control. There's not a player ticket yet. Dennis wants to retake this space, but if the op gets on the angle, where is Panix? Panix is, in fact, watching that angle. This is going to be very tough to get past without utility. Spiddy's going to flash for him. That clears it, but Panix wasn't blinded. He can duck behind the firebox, and that's a huge kill to find. Now with Panix holding the angle, they have money to go for this without too much fear of the next round. But they don't want to. They're going to back off. They're going to play the long game. Sprout's trying to play it safe here as much as possible. And if they want to play with a double op in the next, it makes a lot of sense. So that's going to be another round for attacks. We're going to have a tied scoreline once again. We are going to go down to the wire here.
I'm telling you what's going to happen right now. Right? So
Okay.
Alternate, they're gonna win this one.
Okay.
Gonna go up to 15, and then Sprout are just gonna eco them and come back, get an overtime, and then win it. Just because they just have to win another eco to ruin Alternate's chance of getting the map. That seems to be how it's been going today, as I said. So
All right, we'll see if you're
it's a wild prediction. It's a wild prediction.
Look, all I'm saying is this is a double op up. This is a very good round for Sprout, potentially.
Getting Favin out on it again. He's actually playing it around short though, so a bit more of an aggressive position. Yeah.
Don't let them get in towards window. Don't let them play into your con. Shut them down at top mid. Make them challenge you at top mid. Grimbo's down. Oh, Panix gets the trade, though. He's been so good. But Dexter's here. It goes back and forth. Dexter drops. The ops lose out, and it's down to the rifles. The fancy guns have been stripped away here. It's rifles on rifles and nothing more. And that's what I like to see. This is where it gets into the nitty-gritty. And mid-exchange, 2 bodies on either side. I'd also like to note that there is, for some reason, an X on ramp for the T side. No, they didn't have a 6th player die. That's just there. Don't worry about it. I don't know. Minimap glitched. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Ramp's closed today, maybe?
Yeah.
Nope,
Close
never
for
mind.
construction.
Spiddy's walking in.
It's been opened. He's going to get a lot of information off of this. This should potentially send a mid player over to support B.
Will it be quick, though? He needs to go
Yeah.
right now, preferably.
Dennis by fence is going to have a lot of responsibility, but attacks are shrinking back from it. They're slowing down. They're waiting for that 3rd player to get there or to play in towards mid, and that means that now Diha is going to be in position. They're going to give up mid, which means it could be an underpass bailout, but if they do that, that's not terrible for Sprout because they can play from ramp and they can play for a retake where they have ramp control. Molly in mid draws Diha back in, and meanwhile the players make their move. But Dennis has been locked into this fence spot, and I don't mind this at all. They're trying to make noise to draw the rotation. Dennis bails out of his fence spot. He bit. Diha gets a kill in towards mid, though. Dennis is now here. Is he going to catch this man player coming around? He does indeed, and there it is. The shutdown. Diha did enough by finding the mid player, by sussing out that it was a bit of a fake. He secured the round for Sprout, and they are going to make it through. And that's huge.
My prediction's already wrong. I was feeling confident, after accidentally predicting the self-molly. So I was like, maybe I could do this.
Nostradamus it up.
Sprout were just too good, though. Yeah, as you said, the switch up, especially as well, having Favin around over on short early on to deny that mid control, which had just been such a big issue for them. Every time they lost it, they were just getting split on and just kind of picked apart. So that was the switch up, and again, they do want to challenge it pretty heavily. That nade destroys Dexter, but he actually does pretty much equal damage back on the Stefan, and then follows up with a shot onto Kazuya. Suddenly, it's a man advantage for Sprout, and now it's Alternate who are really on the back foot to stop Sprout from being able to go up towards map point. I mean, they've some money left in the reserve, which would allow another buy, but it's still not a position that you want to be left in. On the brink of being 2-0'd here as well. Dexter, the stand-in for Sprout, he's delivered his second kill of the round.
We haven't seen so much of Dexter this map, at least in this half, but now he comes alive. It's 2 big kills. Really sets them up beautifully to take what should be map point. See if Skrunk and Stefan can change that narrative. We're going to have a boost up in towards the window. Skrunk getting rid of the bomb so he can go a little bit more bold. And he does have this positioning, and they don't seem to realize it. Certainly got to clear back into jungle, and indeed they are. Diha has it. Always aware is that Diha. And now everything's on the Stefan. He's got to make a 1v4 work. He is all alone in the world. He's going to get peeked from window, and Diha is not even going to let him entertain the notion. Map point found for Sprout. The money still there for alternate attacks. They will be able to compete. They're not going to be limited in this one. They'll be able to get the op. They'll be able to keep it competitive. But it's do or die at this point. Obviously, Sprout are already up a map. This would be the 2-0. And they would be winning it through.
Yeah, if we were to make it, those two would certainly be an interesting decider here, but at the moment it's looking like it's going to be a rough position for Alternate to get themselves to, having to, of course, do it in an overtime. So there's a bit of work ahead of them, but we'll see. Crimbo, once they creep out ramp, okay, they're just going to go quiet on this one. Flash in, though. They did have a player under Palace, but he's unfortunately not really able to do anything. It was Dexter who got that 1 kill instead, but they have Connector being covered off, and so far, at least, they're keeping that player around Tetris pretty preoccupied. They haven't allowed him to get any kills. They've slowed down this push that was coming in, and it's just given plenty of time for everyone on Sprout now to come over and set themselves up. A second player confirmed as well in towards the ramp, so it's only really one player for the moment that they're unsure of, and you can see that was taking some attention elsewhere. But it doesn't really seem to be a big issue. Trades coming in, and there it is, Dexter. He comes through with a 3k for himself to put a stop to it. So we need to get that music off. Apologies, playing on the on the clean feed. They played it very quick.
They do rocket through, but it's okay. We now know who's going to be our second finalist. It's going to be Big versus Sprout. These are the 2 teams that you would have had pegged to make it through pretty much from the outset of this Meisterschaft season, and they have in fact delivered. We haven't had any upsets along the way. This is going to happen. It is going to be the 2 big guns of the German scene. Really the big brother and the little brother, if you will, of the top of German CS going up against each other. And this is going to be a brawl. We've got the full big lineup. We've got a Sprout team that's using stand-ins, but with Dexter and Diha being those stand-ins, they've very much still got a shot. And I am very curious about what we're going to get here in our grand final, Dean.
Yeah, same. I'm still a bit sad, though, that, of course, Sprout have to use a couple of stand-ins, because it would be really nice to see the 2 full lineups playing versus each other, but I'm sure we're still going to have a great game. I think it'll hold up, certainly, to the standards of those first 2 games, because we had a couple of one-sided maps, and I think just the pure firepower, even you were mentioning this earlier, even Whisper having stand-ins should be able to make that a very exciting game. With that, guys, though, I don't know how long of a break we are actually going to have before that final gets going live, but we are definitely going to have a good while, so make sure you keep an eye on the screen. We'll have a timer, of course, letting you guys know when it's going to be going live. You can also check out HLTV, definitely the best place for keeping an eye on what matches are going on and when they're starting and such. But stick with us, guys. We're going to head over to the break.